For more on the renewed clashes between Arab and non-Arabs in Sudan's Darfur region, I'm joined live via Skype from Maryland by John Tanza. He's managing editor of VOA South Sudan in Focus radio program. Hello, John.
Hi, Esther. How are you?
I am good, John. Let's talk about this starvation, the hunger situation in South Sudan. What more are you learning? Because 1.7 million people at risk, that's quite a number.
Yeah, it is. It is quite a number because since South Sudan got its independence in 2011, aid agencies have been providing services in that country. And especially WFP has been there from 2000 and, from 1983. WFP has been providing food in that country when it was what was Southern Sudan. And most of the food drops are in areas where you have pastoralists, because pastoralists have this migratory pattern of life, and so they don't cultivate much. And if they cultivate, then, if there is dry season, they move to another area. So there's constant movement of people with their cattle. And so these are people who will be affected by this latest development where WFP is not able to provide assistance because of funding issues. But you also have other areas in South Sudan. Let's talk about Western Equatoria. These are where farmers are. These farmers have been cultivating throughout the year. And these are not people who, migrate from one area to another. So if we say the whole country is going to face starvation, that's an alarming, it's a blanket statement. We should say some areas. Let's talk about Jonglei, Warab, Northern Bahr al-Ghazal. These are where you have pastoralists who have a migratory pattern of life. And this number is quite huge. It is 60% of the population is quite huge.
So, John, given the situation there in the Horn of Africa, there's drought, the other factors, the pandemic hasn't done any good either. What options does the South Sudan government have to make sure that people do not starve now that the funding has been cut?
I will not speak on behalf of the government of South Sudan, but I will tell you the pattern that has been there. South Sudan depends on donor aid. There is a lot. South Sudan depends on donor aid, There's a lot that is happening in that country. Since the country got independence, the donors are supplying medicine, the donors are delivering food aid, the donors are helping in education. And so if you ask me what the government of South Sudan is going to do, the history of the country indicates that the government has done very little to help its people out of their quagmires.
John, very quickly, the clashes in Darfur. What is the real story behind this?
The real story behind the clashes in Darfur is that the indigenous communities in Darfur are trying to defend their land from what you would call people who are coming from outside to settle there. You have what they call the Arab communities in Darfur. They have been there. Some are from West African countries. Some are not indigenous people of Darfur. So the indigenous people of Darfur are standing up to protect their ancestral properties. This is what is happening in Darfur. And the causes of the conflict is mainly because of competition for resources. There's a lot of gold. If you like, these are not formal gold mines, but there is a lot of gold mining in Darfur. And the leaders in the country are taking advantage to explore these resources, and they're using all sorts of approaches to access, like proxy armies and stuff like that to get rid of these resources.
We'll follow up on that, John. We hope for peace. John Tanza is the managing editor of VOA South Sudan in Focus radio program.